So, yesterday we were talking about this personality development. Yesterday we read about Nick Vujicic, the person having no limbs but achieved great heights. And now today we are reading about every success story is also a story of great failure. We know people, they are all great people. That means if at all we see their greatness alone, we see their only one part, one side of the persons we are seeing. We have many great people within ourselves itself, but have we ever questioned them what failures you have come across and how you have utilized those failures to climb to this success? No, we don't ask them. Now first of all, let us think about here. I have written names, about 9 names. One is Abraham Lincoln, 2 Lee D. Forrest, 3rd Wright brothers, 4 Colonel Sanders, Walt Disney, Thomas Alva Edison, Henry Ford, Lee Iacocca, Shiv Khera. Out of these, I am very sure you know him, you know these brothers, and you know this gentleman, and Thomas Alva Edison you know. One more name I should add here, he is Beethoven. So these all are famous in one field or the other. About them we are going to read today. I will give a reading. Please try to understand how far you can. Of course, a brief explanation will also be given. Every success story is also a story of great failures. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. You see, don't try for a success. Try to double your failure rate and automatically you will be achieving your success. That is what, not me, Watson sir said. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that person go lucky. He must have been at the right place at the right time. Can we define the time as right or wrong? Or can we define the place, whether it is the right place or wrong place? We cannot. Wherever you are placed, whenever you are placed, that is the right place and right time. Failures, of course, they will come. They come in your way. You are to overcome these failures and you are to reach the success. Because here it is very clearly said, failures are inevitable. They are a must in your successful life. And people see only one side. This is, we are having dorsal side and ventral side. In your geology you will be taught. This dorsal side is very white, and with this we cannot simply say the person is very fair in complexion. No, here it is the second side. It is dark side of the hand and it is dark. So what is the complexion of the man? Is it a success or a failure? We cannot make out because it is a coin having two sides, success and failure. If it is not there, life is rather, I can say, it is sour in taste. To become it is a sweet one, you should have both the things, success and failure. Let me share someone's life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22, was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22, failed again in business at the age of 24, overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26 and a nervous breakdown at the age of 27, lost a congressional race at the age of 34, lost a senatorial race at the age of 45, failed in an effort to become the vice president at the age of 47, lost a senatorial race once again at the age of 49, and was elected president of the United States at the age of 52. This man, Abraham Lincoln. A series of failures he was having in his life, but still he struggled to become the president of USA. This man was Abraham Lincoln. Would you call him a failure? No. He could have quit. No, he didn't. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. Detour, it is on the way. You are on the journey. Life is, until you die, it is a journey. There may be a comma or a hyphen somewhere or an exclamatory mark, but not a full stop. And don't question yourself. Don't put a question mark. Why me? No. You should put a comma, an hyphen, an exclamatory mark until you reach the full stop. Now, likewise, Lincoln also thought that his life is not defeated. And always he was thinking that he was on the journey till he achieved a great success. In 1913, Lee De Forest, inventor of the triode tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of this company by claiming that he could transmit the human voices across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Can you imagine where he would be without his invention? Now you see, what are the stocks in a company? Just a brief knowledge we should have. Any company will be running on finance. This finance is arranged through certain banks, that is lending, and certain financial institutions and public. Public will be investing in the company, and that public investment is called as stocks. They will be selling the shares at a face value of rupees 10, and thus they will be collecting money, and that is called as stocks. This man has not done any fraud, but he collected money from the public. For what? To run a company, because he was very sure that he has invented some device through which he can transmit human voice from one point across Atlantic to the other point. But people thought he is a deceiver, he is deceiving, it is a deception. Never. He could able to show it that I did it. If at all he was discertained when he was tried and when he was penalized, there this invention of changing the voice from one place to other across the seas would have been lost there itself in the invention. No, it had come now. We are having many other devices now because the science has improved very much, and with a simple touch of your mobile we are talking to any country here now. A New York Times editorial on December 10th, 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers, who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. 1 week later, at a Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. You see, they were publicly criticized by a very famous newspaper, New York Times. And that too, not an ordinary person has written it. The editor of that paper, in his editorial, he has written, these people are foolish, their thoughts are foolish. Why? A machine which is heavier than air, in that one they intend to fly. So it is absurd, he has written, but they have proved that their claim was very right after 1 week time. Colonel Sanders, at the age of 65, with a beat up car and 100 pounds in his pocket from a social security, realized he had to do something. If not, these 100 pounds will also go. He remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? Can you imagine? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he get his first order. How many of us quit after 3 tries? A very simple mathematics. If we cannot do it, once we do, twice we do, third time we do, then we quit it. We will leave it. Why don't we try for 1,000 times as he did here? We don't do. We say, I don't know, or this sum is not good, or we say it is very hard, and we will leave it. So that leaving is failure. If you go on trying, success is yours. Here, Sanders, his mother's recipe in some dish, he counted on it and he went on door to door to sell it. He knocked 1,000 doors to get the first order. You see, that is called what we call as a businessmanship or salesmanship. One should have it. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse-infested shed near the church. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. That was the start of Mickey Mouse, the famous cartoon. So, he was totally rejected by the many editors. You are useless, you cannot draw, you don't have any art. That way he was told, repeatedly told. Means you are trying for success, but they are trying to make you failure. But even then, he got the success. Now, on his own name, he has a studio, he is a producer, and he is producing all kinds of your cartoons and also big motion films also he is producing. Now, if he lost his heart at the first instant, our Mickey Mouse would not have taken birth over there. And how he was inspired? He was given a shed which is infested by mice over there. He was always looking a mouse which is coming out of its hole and making some movements over there and again entering in. Then he got the clue over there and that erected this Mickey Mouse over there. Successful people do not do great things. They only do small things in a great way. That is the mantra of success. Don't try to do great things, not necessary. But small things alone you can do in a great way. Then you are successful. One day, a partially deaf 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. The note said, "Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Your Tommy is so stupid that he could not learn. Get him out of the school." His mother read the note and answered, "My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself." And that Tommy grew up to be great Thomas Edison. Up to be the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. Now, Thomas Alva Edison, if he was not there, this lighting etc. we would not have experienced. We should have been in the darkness during the night. And if you are having your room, your house in a high, what we call as the flats, and every flat will not be having sun, they are to put the light. Thomas Alva Edison, if he is not there, no light. So that way he is successful. And one more thing also there for him, we will read about him later. Now, Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Now imagine, the car didn't have the reverse gear. How to go back? Right? It is a funny thing. Even if we think about it, it is a very funny thing. But Ford, he is not the inventor of a motor engine, automobile, no. He is a maker. Why he is famous is online fitting, etc. He brought it. That is online, about 50 cars or 100 cars at a time, they will be moving, and one part will be fixed. That way he started manufacturing, but for the first batch, he had forgotten to put the reverse gear. A failure. But he did not go back. He was going forward. What he called it? Let us see. Do you consider these people failures? They succeeded in spite of problems, not in the absence of them. But to the outside world, it appears as though they just got lucky. We think Ford is lucky, Edison is lucky, and your Disney is lucky, and everybody is lucky. Abraham Lincoln, lucky. But what is the other side? Other side is he was struggling. He struggled and achieved it. All success stories are stories of great failures. Once again, the only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. This is called failing forward. If you are failing, you will be going back. You are not doing your mathematics. That is called to go backward. These people, they did not go back. They bounced forward. And so here, this bouncing is called as forward bouncing, and that failing is called as forward failing. Rather than backward, you learn and move forward. Learn from your failure and keep moving. No stopping. You have to move. Failure is there. It will be there. The small kid, if you see, he will be making few steps. The early steps, first steps we can see. He will catch hold of the wall and he will be putting steps. 1, 2, he will be falling down. But he will not be weeping there, and he will not be sitting over there thinking, even if I stand now, I cannot walk, I am a failure, I need not have to walk. No. Again, after few minutes, he will be trying to getting up. And again, he will be making 2 or few steps again. Again, he will be falling. And again, he will be standing. That is called a leap forward, a failure, forward failure. That means his failure shows him how to get success. In 1914, Thomas Edison, at age of 67, lost his factory, which was worth a few millions dollars, on fire. It had very little insurance. No longer a young man, Edison watched his lifetime effort go up in smoke and said, "There is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Thank God we can start anew." You see what a great spirited man he is. At the age of 67, almost at the fag end of the life, his factory, which is worth few $million, that caught up fire and reduced it to ashes. He did not lament on it. He did not weep on it. Simply, he did not brood over it, what to do and what not to do. And again, he is not young enough to start once again. But what he said is noteworthy here. That is, there is great value in disaster. Now, metabolic activity, it is there in our body. It is a continuous process. What is this metabolic? One is catabolic plus anabolic. After hearing all these bolics, you must be getting bored, but a catabolic means a destruction, should be continued with a construction. Every moment, some thousands of cells are dying in your body. At the same moment, they are occupied by new cells. That is metabolic activity that is present in living things. It is there, and so we are called as living things. So at catabolic, if you feel you are unsuccessful, then there will be no anabolic, there is no construction. So halfway metabolic will be there. So likewise here, at the age of 67, what he very proudly said is, destruction is very valuable. You see here, there is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Simply, Our mistakes will be burnt. That's all. We need not to bother. Whatever we are losing, it is our mistake. And we are going to take up a new life. That way, leave mistakes, take up new life, new lead. Thank God, we can start anew. At the age of 67, a man could able to say this. In spite of the disaster, 3 weeks later, he invented the phonograph. What an attitude. He lost everything. He became penniless. But again, within 3 weeks of time, he came up with some new mission again. And again that has been sold. Again he made money. That is a phonograph. You see the attitude. And if we have that, we can achieve anything. Below are more examples of the failure of successful people. Again here he talked about Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Leo Kaka, young Beethoven. Here one more name what I want to add here is Beethoven. Maybe there are very few people who do not know him. That is, Beethoven is famous for Western music. And he was rejected by many people. But even then he stood, yes, I have the talent, I have the art with me. He proved it. That is one. And now here is a story, that is, setbacks are inevitable in life. A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility. How to contain this humility we will be learning only when we face it. Face is a failure. Success, of course, people will be praising. But when you are failing, you will be criticized, you will be humiliated. And through that, you will be having a confidence, a courage. Yes, I want to show I am always successful. That is inevitable. You should have that. Ask yourself after every setback, what did I learn from this experience? After every setback, if I do not know how to spell some word, what will I do? I will go for dictionary. When I go to dictionary, I will be seeing many more words which I do not know. How to spell, how to pronounce, what are the form of the word and what is the meaning of it, I may not be knowing. So, for one word, I will be knowing 100 words. That way, you have to see, this is my setback and how I am overcoming it and what is the result of it, how successful I am. That way, you have to measure yourself from every setback. Only then you will be able to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. Stepping stone and a stumbling block, there is no difference between these two. You may put your step on it and that may stumble, you may fall. Right? You may call it as a stumbling block, but when you examine it, you will be knowing, oh, this is on the wrong edge, and so when I put my leg, it stumbled. And it should be put right like this. Then a number of times I can climb over it and I will not be falling. That way, stumbling stone or stumbling block can be used as a stepping stone. Stumbling stone stands for failure and stepping stone stands for success. That way you have to use every failure as a success now. The motivation to succeed comes from the burning desire to achieve a purpose. Napoleon Hill wrote, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. The mind, your mind, I many times call it as a very big CPU. It can remember 60 years ago thing when you are 4 years is something must have happened over there that CPU keeps there. It has a great capacity. It will lead you to success if you use it in the right manner. And so here Napoleon Hill, he writes, whatever the mind of a man can conceive gives rise to contain, conceive. Right? It can conceive, it can create something, it can hold it, it can show you, yes, this is there, I'm going to present to you how best you can do it, how best you can bring it out. That way it keeps it and conceives it. It will be always telling, I am having this, it is yours. And next, and believe the mind can achieve. If you believe, if you have something in your mind, if you believe you are having something in mind, and that, believe me, you will be going to achieve it one day. Now here is a story about Socrates. Socrates, he is a Greek philosopher. How he had become a philosopher is, there is a philosophy once again. He had a bad wife. Sorry, I said bad wife. Bad means she is quite adamant to him. If he says yes, she used to say no. That's all. If he wanted water, there is no doubt she would have served him a glass of oil. That is the character of Xanthippe, the wife of Socrates. And Socrates, he had become a great scholar, great philosopher because of her adamancy, because of her all wrongdoings. He could able to find out the right ways. And now the philosopher, he was encountered by a student one day, young student. He went to him and asked, what is the secret of success? He questioned. Then Socrates thought for a moment and said, tomorrow I would be going for taking a bath in the pond. You please come over there and see me. The next day, very obediently the student approached Socrates at the appointed time and at the appointed place. Then Socrates was in this deep of water and invited the student, come here, I will teach you the secret of success. The boy, not knowing what there in store, he approached him. When both of them were at this deep of water, suddenly Socrates caught hold of that boy and dipped him down. And the boy was struggling to come out because he was taken aback, he was taken by surprise because he did not expect Socrates to dip him in the water. And he was both scared and also both what we call as he wanted to come out of it. So he was simply putting his hands and legs afloat. Then after quite some time, Socrates left him. The boy had come out of water, gasped, took a great amount of air inside, and eyes were watering completely, and he wanted to go away from the place. Socrates simply asked him, what do you want greatly when you were underwater? The student said, breathe, a puff of breath, air I wanted. And for that, what did you do? He said, I tried very frantically with legs and hands to come out of it. Is it not? So that is the secret of your success. You should need it very frantically, and then only you can succeed. It is not that if I don't know this mathematics, I will leave it. No. You should have a zeal of fighting with the mathematics. Yes, I should know it. I should have the way out from this problem. Then you will be out of problem. Problem is there, yaar. Let it be there. I will just make a roundabout and I will go there. Nobody is stopping you to do this. You can do it, but you are not a successful man. You are an escapist. To be a successful man, you have to deal the problem and you have to come out successfully. That is what Socrates taught. Now, after all talking about all these people, one more person is there, contemporary man. Now he is there. He is Shiv Khera. During his forefathers and his fathers, they were, during British period, they were owning coal mines in Dhanbad, West Bengal. And that fellow, when the government of India, it has come independence and the government India formed, then all the mines and everything has been nationalized and he lost these coal mines. So he was back to square one. Back to this ladders and snakes you must have played. And you should not be disheartened when a snake just simply it takes you in and it will be sending you to the last point. No. And when you are what we call as climbing this ladder, don't be so happy with it. It is a play. You have to play it and you have to achieve and you have to go to the last 100th point. Ladders and snakes will be there always in your life. So he had this snake, a biggest snake. It took him and sent him to the tail end, to the last point. From there again he built his empire and he became a great motivational speaker now, just like our Nick Vujicic. Yeah, what he says is, if you think it matters much. If you think you are a failure, you are a failure. If you think that you are a successful man, you will be a successful man. Means that simply depends on how you think and what you think. Here, this extract is from his book, You Can Win. Yesterday I told Obama, you can win. That's the book. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think, no, I cannot go there because I may be beaten, certainly you will be beaten there. You cannot be successful. If you think you dare not, you do not. If you cannot make out something bravely, you cannot do anything. You will be always a coward. You will be going back. Dare not. If you like to win but think you can't, you want to win, but you are thinking all the odds are in that group. No, the best bowlers are there, best spinners are there, best pace bowlers are there, and best wicket keeper is there. Why do you think them be the best? Why don't you think your team is the best? That is the difference between how you think. If you think your wicket keeper is the best, yes, he will prove that he is the best and you can win. But you want to win, but you think you cannot, then what would happen? It is almost a cinch you won't. A cinch. It is a certain that you will not win the match. Now, if you think you will lose, you are lost. You will be always thinking, here I may be a loser, here I may be a loser. Yes, you will be a loser. Nobody will be talking to you, nobody will be counting on you, and nobody will be respecting you. And now, far out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It is all in the state of mind. The fellow's will, it will lead him to success alone. And he should think, yes, I am a successful man, I will succeed here. Then no amount of hurdles will stop him. He will succeed. He will go to the point very successfully. It is in the mind the fellow should think, and the state of mind should be very free. You want a winning, but always you are thinking, I may lose, I may lose, I may lose will not be there, I lose, I will be going back, I am lost. If you think you are outclassed, you are. No, everybody is above me. If that thought comes into me, yes, everybody will be above, I will be downtrodden. People will be simply stamping on my back and they will go ahead. No, you should be always think, I outclass others. That way, I am outclassed. No. You have got to think high to rise. This is nothing. This place is nothing. I am to achieve this place, that place, that place. Again there. Oh yeah, that peak is there. There I will have to go. That way your thought should be always in a rising moment, not in a coming down moment. You have got to think high to rise. You have got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. You have got to be sure, yes, that cup is mine. That cup is mine, I am going to show it to my mother. That way you should determine. Then automatically that cup will be in your hand. The trophy will be within your hand. Life's battles don't always go. Life is not free from battles. It is full of battles, full of struggles, full of troubles, full of difficulties. Life is not simply, it is a very smooth road to run. No, it is having all humps and bumps and dumps, everything. And maybe thorny road, maybe it is. But even then you have to cross that, you have to walk on that, you have to win. To the stronger and faster man. Life's battle don't always go to the stronger and faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. You see, how he succeeded? He is stronger. His willpower is good. He can do. Why can't you do it? The life is life for him, and for you also it is same. It is not an easy going road for him, and for you it is a very difficult one. No, the road is same for him and for you also. But it is you to decide how easily I can cross this. The stronger people, they do that in an easy manner without oofing. And you should also do the same way, and then you are stronger. You are the winner, and everybody will be thinking about you. That is what Shivakera talks about, the if you think.